Hello traders, let's talk about the Trade Scalper. For those of you with a free trial, I'm going to bring you up to speed on how to use the Trade Scalper either on NinjaTrader or TradingView. I have NinjaTrader already up and I have the Trade Scalper running on my charts. Remember, you have to have NinjaTrader or TradingView already installed on your computer. For NinjaTrader, provide us your machine ID plus name. For TradingView, all we need is your username to license the software for the trial. If you need help, just email us at support@DayTradeToWin.com. We have instructions and videos on how to do this already on your member account, but if you get stuck, feel free to email us. Now with NinjaTrader, you have to send us your machine ID plus name, and we'll email you back to say your license is now updated for the free trial. So just remember to wait for that email. Now, once you install NinjaTrader, you have to go to your indicator list here in NinjaTrader. You right-click on the chart, and you choose indicators right over here. And in the list of indicators, you're going to go down to the D section and all the DayTradeToWin indicators, DTTW, DayTradeToWin. So some of you may already have the Atlas line or the At the Open or the Sonic or the Autopilot. You're going to see here Trade Scalper 4. That's version 4 of the Trade Scalper. And once you double click here, it'll be added here to the bottom of the list. So I already have it installed. I'm not going to add it twice. It's unnecessary. Also, with NinjaTrader, we have the news indicator, which we also provide for a free trial. That's the news indicator, which is right here. Now, the news indicator provides you access to live events as they happen directly on your chart. So on the top right here, after I click apply and OK, there will be some text here that says be careful, there's FOMC, there's jobs, and so on available coming up to be careful with. So the news indicator is something that we also provide as a free trial. You should also download it. So let's talk about here the Trade Scalper version 4. So the Trade Scalper is based on price action. There's not a lot of settings that you have to optimize. I'm going to cover these settings here for you. When you see this first setting here, first trade only, this basically indicates that you won't see multiple signals in a row. The reason for this is because the Trade Scalper creates two different settings to provide long trades. One is the main signal, the other one is double wick. So you can see here that there is a double wick long and a long. So that's essentially the same signal to go long. It's just based on different criteria. And therefore, you'll see two signals. Now, I like to see all the signals, so I have this box unchecked. I also want to see the double wick signal, so that's why I leave this checked. As you can see, it's defaulted when you first install it. This is the way it should be. There's a sound file. It's a doorbell sound. It's included with NinjaTrader, so this is alert4.wave is actually the file name NinjaTrader provides for that doorbell sound. You don't have to change anything, just leave it defaulted as is. You can change the text size. We also have a filter that is based on the ATR. If the market's too slow, you won't see any signals. I have it set to 0 because I want to see all the signals. Again, this is all defaulted when you first install Trade Scalper into NinjaTrader. Now, everything else I pretty much leave as is. So there's no optimization because the Trade Scalper does not use any type of moving averages, RSIs or MACDs or anything like that. So there's no value that you have to say use this or use that for any market. It's completely on its own based on price action. If you want to change the colors, some of you may have a white chart, some of you may have a dark chart, like I have a dark chart here. You could actually change the colors. Any changes that you make here on the settings, which really there's not much of anything to do besides the colors, you would come here to template, you'd come here to save, and you would save it as default. And that way, the next time that you add the Trade Scalper to your chart, the defaulted settings will be saved and remembered, and you don't have to change this again every time you bring the indicator back up on your chart. Now, I'm using the E-mini S&P, but the Trade Scalper can be used on any market, NASDAQ, crypto, it really doesn't matter, as long as you have the data supporting that instrument. Now, when I click apply here, you're going to see again on the top left of the chart, you're going to see the news indicator provide the upcoming news events. The upcoming news events, the ones I really want to be careful with, are listed in red, and the US news events. So again, you can go through the settings of the news indicator. Basically, it's just the US news events that I'm focused on, the ones that really move the market. The Trade Scalper provides these signals, two separate signals to go long or to go short, depending on what the price action is doing. I personally like to use the E-mini S&P or the NASDAQ. Some of the crypto markets move very well. I would avoid using markets that are slow. So if you're looking at a very slow moving market, obviously it's not going to move, it's not going to work because there's nothing there for you to gain out of the market. The Nasdaq is good, the E-mini is good. Again, the crypto markets are good. As long as you're looking at the chart and you're seeing opportunities, the market's moving, you're good to go. I would not overtrade as well. So really the idea here is not to take 1,000 trades a day. Obviously, that is not the purpose of the trade scalper. Can you take 10 trades a day? Absolutely. When you see the signals here that there are multiple signals in a row that are short, what I have found is that when you have more than one signal in the same direction, either short or long, typically that means the market is in a good, healthy trend, either up or down. That's where you want to take the best bang for the buck, either trail a stop, taking the same direction. You can see here there's a long trade here all by itself, and it still went up. You could still make 3 ticks, 4 ticks, 8 ticks, but it's much better when you see one signal and then wait for a second signal that's also, in this case, short, going in the same direction, and then you can see the opportunity where the market just continues in that movement. So for example, you see here that every single trade here previous to that is long. So you may want to skip this first trade here that you see, the second trade, the third trade, the fourth trade, the fifth trade. They're all going in the same direction. And so that to me is a good thing. Remember, wait for the first trade to be long or short. The second trade is also going in the same direction. Fantastic. It means that the market is strong in that trend or in that direction. You see here a lot of signals. Typically, I like to use the ATR, the average true range, for my targets. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can set it for 3 ticks, 4 ticks. If you look down here at the ATR, the average true range, add it to your chart. It's also a free indicator on either TradingView or NinjaTrader. You can add it to the chart here. I'm going to add it just to show you. It's ATR right over here, right there, average true range. Remember, I have it already on my chart. Double click on it and use the setting of 4. That's what I use. The last 4 candles typically tell you what's going to happen within the next 4 to 8 bars. So down here, this yellow line being the average true range, if I was going to take a trade, let's say, and I look down to see what the ATR is over here, the ATR is about a point to a point and a half. That is my expectation that the market will move a point to a point and a half because that's what the market is currently doing. So as a trader, you have to be versatile. You have to be adaptable. When the market is fast, take a larger profit. The ATR will tell you that. When the market is slow, take a smaller profit target because the market is having a hard time making larger moves. So the distance that the market moves is really based on the current conditions. That's the reason why I have the ATR on the chart. Again, you can see here the first signal was long. It still was good, but you may want to wait. Then there's a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. And to me, that is a very good way to take these great opportunities when the market makes a move. You can get in, you can get out. Again, if you took out of these 8 trades or 6 trades that are here, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades, if you took half of them, you'd be up and you'd shut it down. So again, you're really shooting for 5 to 10 trades in a block of time and then stop. You wouldn't continue because you can always give it back if the market turns around or reverses or gets stopped out. We're trying to avoid that. For the funded traders, this is also a great opportunity because you don't have to overtrade. You can be consistent. You can get in, you can get out. And the funded programs that exist, they allow the trade scalper because it's not fully automated. I like to also use on NinjaTrader the ATM strategy. So the ATM strategy is part of NinjaTrader. Almost everybody has it. It's included with NinjaTrader free trial as well. You can set it for how many ticks of target and how many ticks of stop. Now, as an example, I have my NinjaTrader Dome. They call it the price ladder, the Dome. Very similar with when using the chart trader on NinjaTrader. And what you're going to do to use the ATM strategy, if this is what you want to use, you would come down here to create a custom entry and exit, which is almost like a semi-automated type of trading. Really what this does on NinjaTrader is it says every time you enter, this is how many stop, ticks, and this is how many profit ticks that I want to get. That's really all you have to do. You can use a stop strategy for trailing stops and break evens and things like that, but I think keeping it simple is best. So let's say that you want to have a stop of 8 ticks. So we're using ticks. Ticks is the smallest increment on any market. So that's why we're using ticks. So you can have an 8 tick stop and an 8 tick profit target. And what that means is as soon as you place a trade to go long or short, it will place the stop and the target for you automatically. You can have a few of these. For example, I have here templates where on the NASDAQ you have to have a larger profit target and a larger stop. And for E-mini S&P, a smaller target and a smaller stop. The NASDAQ is just much larger and moves in a stronger way. That's why on the NASDAQ I have it different. And you can set as many of these variations as you want. Now, for those of you who are trading aftermarket or if on the London session or the European session or the Asian session, you can see that the Trade Scalper does work overnight or after hours. So you can trade it 24 hours a day. The one thing that I would be very careful with is how slow the market is. I know I mentioned this earlier, but with the ATR, if you put a line here at about 1 point, which is in this market 4 ticks, this tells me that anytime the market is trading above here, 4 ticks or 1 point on this market, that we have opportunities. The problem with any type of trading is that when the market drops below 1 point or 4 ticks, you can see that there's a lot of consolidation. The market's slow and it doesn't move, and this is just a waste of time. So if you're trading overnight or after hours or even on the US session and the market is extremely slow, less than 1 point, I would avoid trading under those conditions. We have plenty of opportunities. We do the same thing with the Sonic system and the Atlas line and the At the Open. So this is a universal way that I teach the traders using price action to help determine whether or not you should be even entering in the market. You can see here when the ATR is high, 3 points, 4 points, you can see that the market moves, makes these opportunities much more available. But when the market is slow, it doesn't work the same way. If you have any questions on the Trade Scalper trial, visit DayTradeToWin.com or send us an email, support@DayTradeToWin.com, and I'll see everyone in the next class.